Hi, Jasmine.
Good afternoon. How are you?
I'm good. We got a big counter for Friday.
Is there a add-on? No.
No, we don't have.
Good. Thank you. I won't say it again. I was making sure I had it because sometimes it's slow coming through.
Yeah, no, not today.
Good.
Miss Grace is your LM today.
Oh, okay. Hi, Miss Grace. She's filling in for
Judge.
hi, filling in for Michael because he said he was gonna be here with me today.
No, Michael's gonna be tomorrow.
Oh, y'all gave him Saturday. Good. Okay. All right, we'll get started. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to begin our Fulton County State Court Expedited Accusations calendar. This is a calendar for cases in which individuals have recently been arrested and charged with certain misdemeanor offenses. Soon after their arrest, the Fulton County Solicitor General's office has already accused these cases of the offenses brought against them, and the case has been bound over to the Fulton County State Court. Nevertheless, this will usually be the defendant's initial appearance before state court judge, so we are able to address several matters, including bond, possible arraignment, and a possible plea offer if one has been made by the state at this juncture. I want to also remind you and advise you that this whole entire proceeding is being recorded as well as live streamed on YouTube. So govern yourselves accordingly. And I also want to remind the defendants on this calendar that you have certain constitutional rights. You have the right to representation. You should know who your attorneys are at this time. You also have a right to remain silent. Remember that anything that you state about the facts and circumstances and the occurrences of your case can and will be held against you. The state is here and they're listening. So listen to your attorneys. And I forgot, Ms. Lewis, what's the SAP reset date?
8:15, Judge.
Okay. Oh, thank you, Ms. Grace. 8:15.
And
All
also,
right.
Judge, there will not be a conflict attorney at this time for any conflict cases because we do not have one available.
Uh-oh. All right. Remember that. All right, deputies, who do we have first?
Good afternoon, Judge Missy. This is going to be position
Afternoon.
number 2,
Okay.
Mr. Clarence Bavard.
All right. Thank you. This is 24 CR 005419Y. Clarence Bavard, charged with 1 count of battery family violence. Pretrial.
14. Last arrest was in April. Simple battery DB, cruelty in the third, and trespass. That's 24 CR 001763Y. Got an open case from 2023, simple battery. Hindering emergency call 23 CR 005181Y. That's all.
Your Honor, this is my
Yes.
case. Morning or good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
This case in front of you is a incident from yesterday, August the 1st. It took place at the residence of Mr. Bavard and his live-in girlfriend, Melissa Fenn, Phen. That's 12120 Wallace Woods Lane in Alpharetta. The allegations for the most recent event are that the defendant struck the victim, Mrs. Fenn, in the face, causing about a 2-inch laceration that was swollen and red to her forehead. He admitted antagonizing her, texting her and asking her where she was over and over again. And he was arrested. The warrant itself indicates that there'd been prior incidences at this location. And you just heard from pretrial that there are actually 2 open cases. One from August of 2023, so a year ago, that's open. It's a hindering 911 and a simple battery family violence that includes a no contact and stay away, $9,000 good bond that you signed, Your Honor. Just recently in April, Mr. Bevard was arrested for simple battery, family violence. The victim in that case was actually one of his juvenile children. Mrs. Fenn and he and two girls who are teenagers live in that residence. He repeatedly slapped one of his daughters in the face, and the other daughter, a 14-year-old named Peyton, called 911. The bond order in that case also requires no contact. It's a $2,500 cash bond. And that was Judge Law's order. It also required Mr. Bevard to be on an ankle monitor. I would note that in May, I believe, of this year, there was a modification done for both of those bond orders, stating that the victim would be moving out of the residence. Clearly, that's not the case. It's actually her residence that she owns. My
Hold on.
understanding is that she's been going back and forth between that residence and where her family lives in Florida. But these are children in school. They now have 3 open cases and are not abiding by a no contact order. I also see in the system where Mrs. Fenn, the victim in this case, has on 4 different occasions gone and obtained a protective order or gone through the process to get a protective order. These documents specifically state that they're not married and that these children have not been legitimated. The defendant has family. I believe his mom, who's his emergency contact, was on, Mrs. Barbara Bevard, was on the Zoom. She has a residence in Thomasville, Georgia. So he has somewhere actually local where he can go. We did speak to Mrs. Fenn today. She reported that they're married, although I don't think that that's actually true. They share 2 children. This is not the first altercation. She acknowledges that there are 2 orders in place requiring they have no contact. She is claiming she no longer lives there and goes back and forth between Florida when the children are not in school. I don't really understand that. But she wants no contact with the defendant and she would like for him to stay away. That's what we'd be asking for, Your Honor. It also should be noted that alcohol is involved in many of these incidences. His criminal history includes DUI convictions, as well as a prior battery on this same victim from 2008 that was eventually dead docketed. It was actually a disorderly or criminal trespass. He took her phone and threw it in the toilet. Every single case in the criminal history that I see has to do with an assault or threats or damage to property or DUI, Your Honor. There are 2 young women in this home that are 14 and 16 around. At least that's what they were in April when he assaulted his youngest daughter. It's the state's position that if Miss Fenn is not in a position to keep these children safe, then it is the court's obligation and the state's obligation. We would request a $5,000 surety bond, Your Honor. Absolutely no contact with the victim or the 2 children. Their names are Peyton, Peyton, and Layla, Leila. I believe their last names are Bevard, as well as Melissa Fenn, Phen. We'd also request that he be ordered to abstain from alcohol and submit to random screens and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on probation or while on bond. And if the court is not inclined to give a cash bond, we would ask that this at least be a surety bond, Your Honor. We'd ask for $5,000. There are, it's a single charge in this case. Thank
She
you.
stayed in Florida. She came back here to get.
Mr. Brevard, I'm gonna cut you off the Zoom. You need to be quiet. You've not been allowed to speak, and you certainly should stop cutting off the prosecutor or anybody else on this hearing. So please be quiet. Thank you. PD Kim.
Yes, Your Honor. I was wondering if we're gonna hear from, he is the complaining witness. I see another word by Barbara. So I don't mind.
I'm
hearing
sorry?
you first. It seems like we have a complaining witness, alleged victims on the Zoom.
No, that's his mom.
Oh, okay. All righty. And we would like to request for actually signature on bond through a pretrial, no matter what level that might be, even level 4. My client is 43 years old, and he claims that he was allowed to stay in that location 12120 Welles Woods. And indeed, Mrs. Fan moved to Florida, and she's the one who came to visit my client, and he did not want to do anything with her. So he walked out of the house to stay away. I mean, to have a no contact. However, the police was called, and here he is. He denies the allegation. He feels like he was lured into to be trapped by the system, and he tried not to have a contact. However, she's the one who came in. They actually, children are registered in Florida schools, if I remember correctly from my clients. I think they completely moved. He has a company truck there parked over there. So if we have no objection to stay away and no contact at all. Indeed, he wants to move away where she has no address of his whereabouts, so that way she does not come back, because it haunts her. I mean, it's kind of like biting him more than her. So he wants to have no contact, actually. One-time law enforcement officer will be great, and a third-party transfer. He is working at under 30 lawn care service. That's what he's doing. He will be willing to do AA classes if that helps him to get a signature on bond through pretrial. He does not have anybody to pay for the bond, so we would like to request for that. Thanks.
All right, I
Just looked at the property records, Your Honor. The residence is in her name specifically in Alpharetta. Property tax records for Fulton County.
all right, not in his or his mother's.
No.
Okay. Guess I'll start off. I don't know where to begin. It's a lot. So I issued a bond order that he violated in 23. Is that right?
Yes, Your Honor. The case that is 23 CR 005-181Y. That was a $9,000 good bond.
And then Judge Law issued another order, and these are all the same victims in
Yes, in April.
2024.
It also requires that he have an ankle monitor.
Does he have it? Did he get it? Doesn't look like, I don't know. Doesn't sound like he
I'm
got
not
it.
sure.
So he violated. I'm sorry?
Yes, ma'am, I did, and I do still have it on, but she wrote a note for me to come back there. So that's how I got.
That wasn't my, I only asked about the ankle monitor.
Okay, yes, ma'am.
So listen to your attorney, and I don't want the extra. So then he had a 2,500 cash bond that was paid.
Yes, Your Honor. And
okay.
the bond modification drafted by Public Defender Kaylee Maxwell in May of 2024 addressed the condition that he stay away from the address in Alpharetta. It states that the complaining witness no longer resides at this location, and it was signed off on by Judge Edie.
And it allowed him to go back to the residence.
Yes,
That he that she no longer lives there, so he gets to be there, and the condition that he stay away from that location was removed basically, or not necessarily needing to be enforced at that point.
Okay. And when was that?
May of 2024,
Okay. And then,
this
we get a new
incident.
a new case,
That's what I call
which is the new case, which is August.
Yes, Your Honor, August the 1st.
Okay. And we're here today. All right. Well, I'm certainly not going, I'll go ahead and let you know that, Peter Kim, I would not give him a signature bond. Because he doesn't seem to like to follow orders or follow the law and stop having incidents and cases with his child's mother and children. So he doesn't, in my opinion, have any respect for the law or women possibly. That's obvious with these cases. My inclination is to give another cash bond, but it seems like they can pay those. Somebody did.
She's paying them. She's coming there and then starting things. and then-
Mr. Bouvard, I strongly recommend you not to say anything.
Yes,
You have a
ma'am.
right to remain silent. You don't want to incriminate yourself. Your Honor, it is not my client who want to break the law. She came to where he resides when she knows she was not supposed to be there. And
But
he,
now I'm not gonna let you victim shame for various reasons. I just don't want to hear that one again. And she has 2 minor children that she's obviously trying to take care of. And so things I know happen when that's the case. But you know, if that is the case, then he needs to remove himself, because I'm sure all of those bonds say no further violent contact or no further contact. I guess if he was able to go back to the house, said no further violent contact. So he
No,
violated
all of the bonds say no contact. It was
No
presented to
contact.
the court that she moved away from the house that she owns, so he gets to be there, and they have continued to act like they are having no contact. And I would just remind Mrs. Kim, I know you know this, there's an order prohibiting your client's contact with someone. It's a prohibition on his behavior. There's no order out there in the world prohibiting Mrs. Finn's behavior at all.
so when she came, he walked out of the house to avoid her.
Forgive me if I don't believe what you're talking about. We have 3 open cases of violence against this woman and their children now.
Right. So I'm trying to decide between a high surety bond and a cash bond at this point, because he just doesn't seem to get it. And I don't know what we're going to have to do for these cases to stop, or for this victim and her children to finally be safe and free of any acts of violence. So I'm going to,
Judge, excuse me, Mrs. Miss Lewis, I just let you know the cash bomb was played by the victim.
I thought, yeah.
I thought there was a rule that a named victim in a case doesn't get to pay a bond.
Nobody probably
It's
pays
on, I'm
attention.
looking at the booking screen from 2020.
Oh, I don't doubt you.
The cash
I'm not
bond is on there,
surprised,
and it
but-
has the name of the person that posted the bond.
That's why it's our job to keep these folks safe. Those children didn't ask to be in this situation.
Mhm. All right, I'm going to order a $10,000 cash bond.
That's too excessive, Your Honor.
Excessive until someone's in the grave or at the funeral home. I don't know if it's excessive or not. He doesn't want to obey our orders.
If she wants to be safe, I mean, she knows how.
Ms. Kim, she's not here to talk. We're not going to talk about what she has to do or what she's required to do, okay? It's not excessive. What's excessive is repeated assaults on someone in the home that they own. This young man has a residence in Georgia with his parents. His mom's sitting on the line right here. Why don't you go talk to her about what he should be doing? His behavior is why we're here, ma'am.
All right, let's do this.
I'm sorry, Judge, but somebody popped up that's on iPhone. I don't know if that's the victim or not.
Yes, who just popped in? Do we have Miss Finn? I see the person on iPhone. Is there a Miss Finn, Miss Melissa Finn on the Zoom? Yes or no?
No.
Okay, thank you. All right, I am going to order the $10,000 cash bond. I'm going to order a stay away from 12120 Wallace Woods Lane. I will allow a one-time police escort for him to go back to the home to pick up his work truck and any belongings. He must do it with a police escort. If he goes back without it, it'll be back here in Fulton County Jail. Well, it may still be here anyway. With that $10,000 cash bond, I'm going to order no further contact with Melissa Finn and the two children, Peyton and Layla Bavard. And when I say stay away, we mean stay away from them. I guess he still has his ankle monitor. I'm gonna order that continue. I'm going to order him to go to AA meetings twice a week. I'm going to order no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond. And that's all I'm gonna order at this time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, yo, my man, don't do that.
Can we leave out the thing?
Who's speaking?
Barbara Bivard.
Yes, the case is over.
Okay, thank you so much.
Mhm.
Next, y'all, and this is gonna be position number 15, Mr. Calvin Sims.
This is 24
I
C.
need- I apologize. I didn't mean to interrupt, but I do need to ask for a breakout room for MH issue, Your Honor.
On this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Miss Grace,
Your Honor, we'll put him to the end of the calendar and
Okay.
we'll just keep going.
great.
Anybody else need a breakout? Just so the judge will know.
Yes, there is. Oh.
Do you have
PD,
another PD, Kim?
there is one more. There is actually one more. Her name is Lydia Brady. And also, Your Honor,
Hold on, let me find that one. Is it
The one from
It's
yesterday.
position number 3.
yes, the receipt
Oh,
from
okay.
yesterday.
all right? And there's one more?
I believe Hendricks, but it's a waiver of appearance. So if we put the case at the end, it might be okay, as long as it has a no.
He's a waiver and MH.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay,
Judge, these were the 2 that were reset from yesterday.
gotcha.
That was Jimenez.
We'll take him back.
Oh, sorry, I apologize.
Yeah, Hendricks will be on today, no MH.
It's not that case.
My
Correct.
bad.
So number 8, Jimenez is a waiver and a breakout. Is that correct?
A waiver without a breakout, Your Honor. He just plain waived.
So PD Kim is wrong. There's only one case that's an MH that needs a breakout.
Sorry, I apologize.
All right.
I assumed that they were all MH because they were all reset from yesterday.
Is there anybody else? I'm gonna ask this for the last time that hasn't been interviewed. Everyone's been interviewed by the PDs. Is that
Yes.
correct?
From my part, yes.
You, Mr. Cook,
Yes. Yeah.
McLean, no interviews need to be held. Is that correct?
They're all done.
All right. Do we need an interpreter for any cases?
No.
Okay. All right. Who do we have next, Deputy?
Your Honor, is gonna be position number 20, Mr. Robert Washington.
Okay. 24 CR 005420B, Robert Washington, one count of theft by taking. Pretrial.
First arrest. That's what I got.
All right,
That's the
state.
case. This is a incident, Your Honor, from the 2nd of July, 2024 at 2770 Lenox Road Northeast. That is a shop called Holy Smokes. This young man is a frequent customer. He was recognized by the people there at the location. He walked in and asked for a pre-rolled cannabis cigar or cigarette. When the clerk handed it to him, this young man raised his shirt and displayed the firearm in his belt, said, "It's a cold world," or something, and then left the location. Photographs and surveillance were provided. A warrant was obtained for his arrest, and I believe he was just picked up, Your Honor. We would ask for a $5,000 surety bond. It might be his first arrest, but what we would argue is a robbery by intimidation at a place where you're frequently going to make purchases so people recognize you seems brazen and dangerous. Stay away from Holy Smokes, surrender all firearms, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond.
All right. This case is PD Cook.
Yes, Your Honor. We have no objection to the conditions of the bond, but the charge is theft by taking, with no record, I think, or not much. So we would be asking for a signature bond at whatever level the court deems appropriate.
I guess what bothers me with this case is the gun. Maybe should be a different charge, or it could have been. How old is Mr. Washington?
He is 21.
Very young. Brandishing a gun. Does he work? What does he do? He's a high school graduate?
Yes, he's working at I've forgotten the name, but it's one of the trampoline parks. He works there.
With kids?
I've never been to one, so I would assume they're probably kids supervised by parents. I've never been to one, so.
He brandishes a gun and he works with children. Okay. Is he a high school graduate?
He is a high school graduate.
Is he self-sufficient, live by himself, or live at home?
He's living with his family.
And I assume, last question, he's from Georgia.
Yes, his entire life from the Atlanta area.
I'm going to order that he have a 5,000 surety bond. Even though it's his first arrest, the firearm is not good. I'm going to ask him to surrender the firearm if it's already not in custody. If he has any other firearms in his house that he has contact with or possession of, he needs to surrender those immediately to the sheriff's department. Stay away from 2770 Lenox Road. Don't go back there ever. And no further contact with the employees there. Stay away. No unprescribed drugs or medication. No guns, no alcohol or weapons while on bond. That's the order of the court.
Thank you. Your Honor.
Your Honor, we're gonna go to position number 21, which is medical, and that's gonna be Brianna White.
This is 24 CR 005418E. Brianna White, charged with 1 count of criminal trespass, 2nd count of PI. 3rd count, willful obstruction of a law enforcement officer. 4th count, simple battery against a police officer. I don't know what the facts are on the PI. Is it something we need to not live stream?
We
Or is it-
probably don't need to, we don't need to live stream that, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. Grace,